So you've just whipped up a delicious steak. Now you're ready to top it off with a nice pan sauce recipe. Well, stick around. With 5 simple ingredients, you can knock out a quick and easy pan sauce recipe. Welcome to the Sauce and Gravy channel. This is Johnny Mac, and we're going to dive into a homemade steak sauce recipe. An onion wine steak sauce recipe. Buckle up, let's go. Alright, let's begin this steak sauce recipe. We're going to start off with the steak first. It's going to be the base flavor for this pan sauce recipe. Take a saute pan, put it over a burner on medium to high heat. Start melting the butter down, put in a little bit of oil as well. The preparation of the steak for this homemade steak sauce recipe is a very important step. What we're going to try to do is get a lot of fond or flavor onto the bottom of that pan. So it's important to get a nice sear on that steak. So you want the pan to be nice and hot, but not too hot. If it's way too hot and you burn the steak, you're going to burn the fond, and there goes your flavor. Give the steak a little bit of a flip. Sear both sides. Once both sides are seared, you can place a little butter on top if you'd like. Then put it in the oven and cook it to your taste. A pan sauce is just a great recipe for a steak sauce. It's quick and easy to make, and you can utilize your time while the steak is in the oven to do your prep work on the onions and the garlic for this steak sauce recipe. Take the steak out of the oven, remove it from the saucepan, let it rest, and while it rests, we can begin this onion wine steak sauce. So check out the bottom of the pan. That golden brown, that's fond, that's flavor. That is the beauty of a homemade steak sauce. That's where the power-packed punch of deliciousness comes from. If you have a lot of oil and fat in the bottom of the pan, it might be a good idea to degrease. So remove some of that grease. Come on back, place it back on the burner of the saute pan, put it over medium heat. For this recipe for a steak sauce, we're going to start off with 1 tablespoon of butter, or 13 grams. Put it into the saute pan. Use a flat bottom spatula to scrape the bottom of the pan to release some of that fond into the sauce. Next, we'll grab the onions, 1 large onion, roughly about 2 cups or 280 grams, cut into a crescent shape or a moon type shape. Saute the onions over medium heat for roughly about 10 minutes, and it's a great time to take that flat bottom spatula and to utilize the moisture from the onions in order to help incorporate all that fond from the bottom of the pan. So take that flat bottom spatula, hit that bottom of the pan, scrape up all that fond, incorporate it all into the sauce. So check it out. Here's a nice time lapse of those onions sauteing. They're coming down really nicely, just becoming soft, translucent, a little bit golden brown. Not burning them, but just making sure that they're going to be nice and tender. So it's been about 10 minutes. It's time to throw in the garlic. 1 clove of garlic, 5 grams, nicely minced. We're going to saute this for roughly about 1 minute. Time to add a little bit of a secret ingredient to this onion wine steak sauce. We're going to put in a homemade A1 steak sauce. You can check out the information link on the top right hand side of the screen, or a link in the description section on how to make this homemade A1 sauce. But if you'd like to just use the store-bought sauce, that's perfectly fine as well. We're putting in 1/4 of a cup or 63 milliliters. This homemade A1 steak sauce, it really does just bring a power punch of flavor to this delicious pan sauce for steak recipe. After the A1 has been well incorporated into the pan sauce, it's time to add a touch of red wine. 1 tablespoon of Merlot. Once you've incorporated that red wine into the steak sauce, let it simmer ever so slightly for roughly about a minute, and then you're ready to dive into this delicious homemade steak sauce recipe. Well, thanks for watching the Sauce and Gravy channel. Hope that you enjoyed the recipe. Please do leave your comments below. Love to hear what you have to say. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and to remember, as always, to live, love, and make gravy.